We start off week 6 of the fall season with Chris Cunningham to discuss all things Princeton Vikings. Good morning, Chris. How are we this morning?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Good. Joe's in another meeting right now, so he's giving you the tall task of being on today's week 6 podcast. So let's get things rolling and talk about what's going on with the Princeton Vikings. Why don't we start off with cross country? Looks like both teams went to the Eaton Invitational at Fort St. Clair. How about a little bit for the fans on the Eaton Invitational, Chris?
So our coaches, Lincoln Cobb and Candace Campbell, they do a great job preparing our individuals to make sure that they've worked hard throughout the week, but then also have ample rest time to lead into, like, for instance, the Eaton Invitational. So
Sure.
our individuals went out there and performed well, and I know I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit more as far as the exact details of how that went. But I know we did a great job and we performed to our standard, and even some of our individuals excuse me, performed a little bit better than we anticipated. So it was a great experience for our individuals.
Great. That's fantastic to hear. And then the nice thing about it, they've certainly had great weather to run here recently.
Absolutely, I think Saturday was the perfect running conditions. It wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold, so it allowed everyone to stay hydrated and not have any heat type of issues.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Let's good luck to them this week as they run for their next meet. And I think they've got one left, and then they head into the GMC. So things are starting to wind down for cross country. Let's see. Let's switch over to the golf side of things. Looks like boys have GMC championships this week at Walden Ponds.
Yes, so they're really excited about that. I know GMC championships are Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, so we've been gearing up and trying to peak at the right time for our boys. So I know we're really excited. We have some individuals that should go out there and make some noise in the GMCs this week.
Sounds great. Same. Let's see. Girls had GMCs last week. Did Joe leave anything for you on the girls and how they did in GMCs last week?
Have not. I haven't heard about that yet. But I know you're correct. We did have it last week. We also, I know coming up, we're at Oak Hills this Tuesday, so that should be a good match as well. But I know we had some individuals going into the GMCs that um, Coach was really excited about. Coach John Herb was excited about. So I think we did well.
Fantastic, Chris. Let's switch over to the pitch. Let's start with boys soccer. Thursday, let's see. Thursday had Fairfield had a nice 2-1 GMC victory against Fairfield. This week, looks like just one match this week. Thursday at Oak Hills, and then let's talk a little bit about boys soccer.
Right. So Coach Hyde is doing a great job with our young men, getting them to believe in his program, believe in the ins and outs of being structured and understanding how they play together, so
Sure.
that they can go win the games. So they're constantly progressing, and they did a great job on last week against Fairfield, like you said, to be able to get the victory on the road.
Sounds good. And then let's switch over to the girls' side of the pitch. They will host Oak Hills on Thursday. So any fans of Princeton Vikings soccer, 7:00, 7:15, excuse me, at Jake Sweeney Automotive Stadium, the Oak Hills Highlanders will come over and take on the Vikings.
Absolutely. So I know last week we struggled a little bit, but again, Coach Bannister of our girls soccer team, they're doing a great job. They are constantly improving. I know a lot of our leaders on that soccer team, such as Ava Franklin and Caitlin Tracy, are doing a great job just instilling that discipline in our team and making sure that everybody's working hard each and every day to be better. So I know they're excited about this match this week against Oak Hills.
Perfect. Let's go into the pool, inside to the pool, talk water polo. I know the Packer Classic is coming up this coming weekend, which is a huge event at Princeton High School. But prior to that, Tuesday, the Aviators will come over to the Natatorium and face the Vikings. So that'll be, let's see, looks like JV is going to start at 6. I think the girls will go at 7, varsity at 8 and 9. So let's talk a little bit about water polo.
So water polo, that matchup specifically is pretty interesting, considering we share the same facility because Sycamore is doing some construction on their place. So we've literally had our
Oh, I
men's
didn't
and
know that.
women's
Great.
water polo practicing during a certain time period. And then as soon as we get done, Sycamore comes over and uses our facility. So there is some familiarity when you're walking through the hallways and you kind of see someone. And I know the water polo community is very close anyway, but it also makes it a little bit closer when you're walking past them in the hallways and then you're going to go play against them here soon.
Yeah, and I know Sycamore water polo is having a nice season, so that is probably helping the young Viking water polo teams to practice against a tough club like that. So fantastic, and can't forget the Packer. That's coming up this weekend. It's a huge event. It's been going on for a long time, and best of luck to everybody that competes in that, along with the match Tuesday with Sycamore. Let's stay inside, Chris, and let's talk volleyball. Looks like Purcell Marion, the Cavaliers, are coming over on Tuesday, and then we travel over to Oak Hills on Thursday. So those are the two matches this week. Purcell at home, which has always been a good match. We've broadcast that one a bunch over the years, and then travel to Oak Hills. A little bit about girls volleyball, Chris.
So Coach Wendy Wellers and her assistants did a great job pulling out a victory on Saturday against Stivers. Every single week and every single match, our team is getting better. So I know Coach Weller is doing a great job instilling confidence in the young ladies, discipline, understanding how you do anything is how you do everything. So she's doing a great job, and they're understanding that, hey, we're in those close matches where sometimes we may either win close or lose close, but for the most part, we are continuing to see progress and we're getting better each and every day.
That's great. Best of luck to them this week. Let's go out to the tennis courts. Looks like a very busy week for Princeton girls tennis. Hosting Hamilton Tuesday, traveling to the always tough Mason Comets on Thursday, and then the big Coaches Classic starts on Saturday. So a busy week for tennis.
Absolutely. So coming up this Tuesday against Hamilton, like you said, it will actually be our senior night. So it'll be a little bit more motivation for our young ladies to go out and get a W on their senior night. But like you said, it's a very busy week this week. And actually, we just moved that Coaches Classic on Saturday to Monday. So stuff has got moved around just a little bit, but it's still very busy. And Coach Bruning is doing a great job. Again, working on the technique and making sure that our young ladies are peaking at the right time for each one of these matches as we're moving forward.
I know in previous shows, Joe's mentioned how pleased he is with the progress of the tennis program and how Coach has done with the girls, and that's exciting. So big week for them, and then early next week with the Coaches Classic. So best of luck to them. Let's wrap today's show up, Chris, with old nail biter Friday night at Jake Sweeney Stadium. Woo! That was the old Big Blue came down 75. They weren't going to take anything off anybody, were they?
Not at all. So that was a game. I don't want to say game of the year so far, but at this point it was because it was a back and forth game. It was tough nose. Everybody was out there playing very disciplined, and nobody was backing down. So it literally came down to the last, I think, minute or even 30 seconds of the game for us to be able to pull out the victory. But it was exciting for our coaches and our staff to keep our young men dialed in to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, Hamilton's lines were big and tough to move around, and Coach had the Big Blue ready. It was a great game back and forth. I believe we had almost 1,300 viewers on the broadcast. So Princeton Viking football is getting recognized. This week we traveled to Oak Hills, and I believe they had a nice win on Friday. But 7:00 at Oak Hills. Anything you want to share with the fans about Oak Hills, Chris?
I know the biggest thing is that I know Coach Parker, Coach Andre Parker, is going to do a great job of making sure that all his young men and all his coaches are ready to go. Every single week is a new opportunity. You can't look back too much onto what just happened, but they're going to be ready to go and make sure that they're prepared to try and go get another W.
Yeah, Oak Hills had a nice road win at Sycamore, 27-21. And I thought I know that score surprised me. Nothing against Oak Hills. I thought Sycamore would get that one, but Oak Hills is putting some points up, so it's going to be a tough order to travel on the west side to go get a victory against the Highlanders.
Absolutely. So we're excited. We're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to our fans to travel out there.
Sounds great, Chris. I appreciate you pinch hitting today. Thank you to all the fans that tuned in for this broadcast. All the best to the student athletes and you and Joe's staff for a great week. And we'll touch base with someone from the staff next week. And Chris, have a great week and thank you for your time.
Thank you. You as well.